Alright, chicken video time. We need to get this cleared away soon because I really think this is where I want to put my new chicken coop and run. And I'm thinking about just getting a metal shed because by the time you get the materials to build, I mean, I'm sure that I came close to 300 if not over, and some of the materials I already had, so I didn't. And that's not including the fencing, the dog run panels that I got 5 of, and the fencing that I used on the top to protect them from the hawks that we have here and keep them from the raccoons and possums, which we got possums visiting our back deck every night. That's another story. But I don't have to worry about closing the chickens up at night because this is all enclosed. And we hadn't had problems. Eventually I plan on having some grow buckets all around the edges here. Oh, another fig. So with the cost and materials for that, and we've got 2 more dog runs from the old chicken coop. I have not dismantled it yet. I just not had the time or energy. When I did have time, I had some stuff going on, and I think I have hurt myself with all the digging of all these trees and all the stuff we've been doing lately. But originally I was going to put the second run over here, and this was going to be our silky coop and run. We got the silky rooster, and I got 6 baby silkies yesterday. 7, excuse me, for the price of 6. I got a good deal. But they're still biddies, and I'll show you them in a moment. But this will be fine for I'm only going to keep whichever hens. They don't even sex them till about 4 months because they're just difficult to sex on silkies since they're bantams and they're just furry. So he's going to have his own little silky harem, which ones are females, and the roosters will end up in the freezer or the pot. So this will be the silky run, and then I was thinking about in this little cleared area putting another a bigger run, but I need to, some of these trees will have to go, especially these little smaller ones. But looking at the layout, they had to cut through, because when we had the shipping containers delivered, the shipping containers came this way instead of the other side. And to make the 45-foot run, they couldn't make this turn from the gate. So they had to cut into there to get down to the terrace that we wanted that. But it's left this area that we don't really use. We don't drive on this, and they had just pushed trees from other parts of the property over here when they had to widen some stuff at the top of our property. And I want to reuse the logs if possible for frames on garden beds. But me and a chainsaw is not a good idea. But I thought this nice sunny area, a metal shed, the back half of it fenced off to where I can go through the metal doors and have storage for chicken feed and treats and other stuff stored in there, maybe like a garden shed to some degree, with the back half framed up with the egg nesting boxes where I can retrieve that from not having to go inside the coop, and have them a little entranceway on the ground that they can, get in and out of, and then have the roost in that back half, and then have a run, and I'm going to fence over the top of it just like over here with the other one. But let me show you the new chickies. Now I am redoing this whole setup. I got some 2x4s. I'm going to rip into 2x2s and make some frames and do this better. It's already coming apart. This was supposed to be temporary, and I had bought 6 black Australoops, I think. And then we were given, you see him sticking his head out the door, a Cornish cross my grandson got from his classroom, and named it Gary. I don't know why, but that's Gary. It could be a hen. If it's a rooster and it can still walk after 4 or 5 months, which these Cornish crosses, it's more humane to just take care of them at 4 or 5 months because they literally can't walk. Their feet will not support the weight of the breast meat, and they will scoot and rub themselves raw on their bellies to just get around from water to food. But if it's a he, and it's kind of looking like it, and he's able to walk, I wouldn't mind having him as our rooster and breeding with the others and making a egg-laying meat cross mutt. But anyway, when I get done with the tree and potting all those tomato plants, I am working in the garage making frames for all these things, and make this a little bit bigger, because they're starting to get good size, they're feathering out. And if I move that water bucket, that thing will open and I'll latch it to where it won't, shut on them, so they have access to this part like the other chickies did. And got these yesterday, silky babies, biddies, chickies, and it was very impulsive. I really wasn't ready for them. And they're tiny, but I've been wanting them, and I was going to order them, but she wasn't able to order these. She tried, and I didn't want to order 25. Oh, that's a little too much for me. 7, good number. And they are just scared, but they'll get used to me. So there's my silky flock. Hopefully I've got at least 2 hens, please, out of 7. We'll see. We'll see how it all works out. But I want to use them for meat. I will be breeding and hatching their eggs. All of their eggs will be hatched. I was told that their eggs are good. I don't even want to try it. They're supposed to be higher protein than regular eggs. I don't know. But I want them for brooding. I want the hens to brood the standard eggs as well as their own. And I don't know how much you know about what's happening with chicken meat production, especially on the West Coast. I don't think it's so bad on the East Coast, but I like knowing where my food came from. I like knowing that these weren't treated inhumanely. I don't, and they're not toxic. The thought of the whole shipping chickens to China and having them processed and shipped back for sale in the States really concerns me. And I just don't, how that is profitable for anyone involved in that process to make money just blows my mind. It just can't be good for the end user. That's all I'm saying. So if you can hook up with someone who's raising the chickens and you can see how they're raised, how they're fed, how they're processed, better yet, do it yourself. You should do it. You should really go for it. And our broody hens got killed last year by a predator, and I don't know, we may end up with some nice broody hens because we have some new ones just that aren't, they just overwintered, they matured over the winter, so I don't know if they'll be good brooders or not. But these and I was told gamecock chickens are also very good, but the roosters for gamecock are very aggressive. That's what they're bred for. They're fighting chickens, and they are not cowards. I'm going to have to leave so that they don't freeze over there. But this Roo is just as sweet as he can be. And he will grab stuff from the goodies that we bring in and pull it aside, and he does this little special crow, this noise, call, whatever, and his favorite hens come running. And you can tell his favorite hens by their neck feathers, which ones he's been doing his business with. But I'm not really, I really don't care to have a silky cross with any of these other chickens that we have here. So I'm looking forward to breeding him with the hopeful. It would be something if I got 7 roosters. Then my whole hunt for silky chicks start again, or I may have to just mail order it, break down and do that. I try to buy local. I try to buy from the person I got the silkies from. He's just a hobby farmer like me, or homesteader, or whatever you want to call us. And it's I want to support people like that. And if I can, that's what I'll do. If I have no other choice, then I have no other choice. I will mail order. So, funny story. So, we had some rain, and I had this, the T-post was in the center. Made sense to have it in the center. And when I came out here, when it stopped raining, oh, what's going on? Did she? I'm not seeing an egg. Yep, she left an egg. See, she is, her mother was a black sex link, and the father was something else. He wasn't a full Americana. And his babies, even though she doesn't, she does have the ear tufts. That's a trait of Americana. So I was kind of shocked when I realized that one of the black hens was laying a green egg, and she's got one in the nest. So she was just letting us know that she's worthy. But anyway, back to the water. So this half was sagging real low. I mean, it was loaded with water, and I said, well, I couldn't have that. I knew that was going to give way one in a way that I wouldn't want it to give. So I went under and pushed up, trying to get the water to fall over on the side. And I, pushed up. Ooh, a wasp, dirt dauber. Anyway, I'm too easily distracted. Sorry. Water fell this way in the front toward the chickens, and most of the chickens were around in the center where I normally put down their goodies. So they just all of a sudden squawk, go nuts. Water's falling. They didn't know what was going on. They're losing it. And next thing I know, I feel air. My pants have fallen. I'm standing there with my arms up in the air trying to get all this water off this tarp. So I can't wait for to get the metal roofing up on this and remove the tarp and not have to worry about that happening again. But I'm standing there with my pants at my ankles because I didn't put a belt on. And I look around and I go, well, nobody can see me out here. If I'd have done that at my old place, there would have been somebody. Or you just wouldn't know if someone saw you or not. But I just thought it was funny. My husband had a good chuckle when I told him what happened. And yeah, you're the Roo. And he gets very upset because a couple of the hens, like Blondie, which is definitely, that's Goldie. That's what the kids named her. And you can see by her neck feathers, the one over there at the water, that he gets on very often. But she's one of our friendly ones because the boys had handled her a lot when she was young, so she's not as scared of humans. And she'll squat, and that's like signaling I'm ready to be bred. And just not thinking about it, I was refilling the feeders one day, and she came over and she was eating some of the feed that had dropped. And then she squatted, and I was reaching over to pet her, and he went nuts. He flew at us, and she took off running, and I was like, oh no. I thought for a moment there he was going to jump me. But he just kind of stomped and fussed, and that was it. And I didn't turn my back on him, because chickens are that way. The roosters know they will get you from the back. So you got to be careful of that. So I do want to keep a rooster with the hens, but I need to get a standard rooster. But it's just neat to watch them. Oops. She got a bug. And my husband's been bringing in some old hay, and he'll bring a big old container of them and put it down, and it's got all sorts of crickets and bugs and beetles and spiders all in it. And they one of the black hens, can't remember which one right now, goes right on top of it and starts scratching, starts tearing it apart, and then not too long it's flattened out and they're all finding stuff, and anything that moves, they're at it. If they see anything move. And I put some diatomaceous earth. I had it in the container, and they needed a little bit more. They need to be able to spread out more, so something bigger is needed. And when it gets hot again, we've had some very cool days with some nice cool nights. When it starts getting hot and we start getting upper 80s and 90s and 100, triple digit days, I'm going to put some water. I've not done that before for them, but that helps them regulate their temperature by putting their feet in cold water and just walking. It's going to be nasty because, they just poop. But if that makes them more comfortable or happy, I hate having them confined, even if I double the size of this for their next one or even bigger. I hate that they're confined. I liked it when they were able to roam more freely at our other place, and they had a whole paddock and backyard to go at. I just don't want to risk them. Maybe later, after a year or two here, I may, some days when I'm out here doing stuff, I'll let them out and hang out with them. But today I already, I'm planning on doing so much other stuff, and then I may head out and do some errands, take lunch to my husband, stuff like that. So today or any foreseeable day soon, I don't see being able to just let them out and run. And then I don't really feel up to hunting eggs, because they will, when you let them free range like that, I'm getting anywhere from 6 to 10 eggs a day. There are 11 hens in here. 2 of them are really retired. One of them will surprise us with an egg every so often, and the other one pretends to be laying eggs. She'll go and lay, this one here, Big Red. She'll come out making all that cackling like she did something, and there's nothing there. So she's trying to fool everybody. And then Little Red, which I thought we're going to lose her soon after moving here because she was not getting along, walking very well. She still has a slight limp. Looks like something's wrong with her left foot or leg. But they've served us well, and that may be too sentimental and not the wisest financial wise to leave them. Maybe just go ahead and let them run wild, or run a chicken tractor and put them in there, so that they can clear out areas for me, a little mobile chicken coop for them. All time, money, energy. But since my husband has basically gave me reign with the chickens and just has to approve certain budgets, like getting that shed. So instead of me trying to figure out and build something from scratch, that I can get that and assemble it much more easily. I have become one of those crazy chicken ladies. In fact, the guy I bought the pomegranate trees from, when we asked him, because we were out of cash by the time we found him, asked him if he would take a debit card, if he can do a debit card transaction for the trees. He said he'll take cash, check, cards, chickens, and my daughter jumped in. Oh, she's got chickens, and I was like, oh yeah, I got some chickens. And they lay green eggs, and he just started backing off. Oh no, I'm just kidding, no chickens for me. I would have loved that. I would have traded him some good layers for those trees, but he gave me a good deal on the trees. And I would have been a little heartbroken to lose any of these, even in a good trade. They all do have a little different personality. There is a pecking order, where the term comes from. Didn't know. See? So we got 6 gallons of water out here. 2 with the poultry nipples. I'm going to get a third one up here. And they do have different sounds for different things. They have a squawk that's a warning. Her, I don't know. One that actually chatters a lot. I think that's her that's on the nest making that weird noise. Oh, but you notice how these were fence posts, slats for a wooden fence, for a privacy fence that I used. And you see that now that they're drying and warping in different ways, I need to come back and, which I knew that was going to happen. I only got screws put in the top parts of each of these slats, and one on each side, to let them shrink the way they want to shrink. So that's happening, and it's overdue. About every week to no more than 3 weeks, need to clean the coop. Ooh, we got 2 more eggs over there. That must have been her clatting. And all 3 nests were just in use. I already got 2 eggs from early this morning, and at